Stop this shit. This isn't even anime. Hey YouTube, it's your boy Strictly Broken here. About to start a new segment for you guys today. I got this weird like camera situation going on, but we gotta make it work for now. Hopefully this angle isn't too weird, and I don't know, staring up at it is pretty weird. But new segment. This segment's gonna be kind of like a rant, kind of conversation, dialogue segment. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'm gonna hopefully cover some pertinent, interesting topics for y'all. Today's topic is a topic that, you know, I had discussions with people, and this is just kind of the result of these discussions. I think I'm gonna call these this series Strictly Rants or something. It'll be great. But the topic of this video is the runner versus oversizes dialogue, and oversizes being the 3-5 level zeros, level 3-5 or 4K level zeros or level ones at level 0, and the runner being the characters that like move around on opponent's turn. So it's just this like duality in opinion. Like, is runner better? Is oversizes better? And I'm sure you guys know mine, because I emphasize every single time I get the chance that runner is the best card in the game, and I firmly do believe that. Like, I honestly believe that runner and what it leads to in a game state is like single-handedly the most impactful card. Getting that early game +1 really lets you do some pretty unfair things in Weiss. But let's just begin this dialogue. In case you are a kind of newer player, I know this kind of dialogue and conversation might be for players who actually just care about the competitive scene, but the main goal of both running oversizes and runners is ultimately, like, you can say a million different small goals, but we can't actually say a million, but you can say a few smaller goals, but the main goal of why you play these cards is they're plussing level zeros. And specifically, they're plussing level zeros that don't require stock to hopefully get you a plus. So Ricky is like, I think, the quintessential plussing level zero. Is quintessential the right word? Well, it's the symbolic plussing level zero, but it costs 1 stock. So you can only do a turn 2. But on turn 1, on the proactive turn 1 play, like when you're going first, you want to play down an oversize or a runner, because it leads you into a +1, and that +1 really, you can ride on it to do some crazy plays and unfair plays on turn 2. So yeah, and then the dialogue kind of evolves from this into like, so these are both plussing level zeros. They both get you pluses a lot of the time, and then the dialogue really kind of evolves. Like, say your set only has a runner, you obviously play the runner, and if your set only has if your set only has an oversize, then you obviously play the oversize. But where it becomes very interesting is like decks like Gochi Yusa, Attack on Titan, what decks? Like I think Vivid Strike, just off the top of my head, even like Excel Roll, like a lot of decks nowadays have both, and it becomes like a topic of which one do you play as your main plussing level zero, the 4 of copy. Do you play like 8 copies, like just 4 and 4? I mean, that's definitely an option, but it boils down to some pretty heated conversations, and my opinion, because you guys know that I think runners are the most broken cards in the game, obviously, is to prioritize playing the 4 runners. Like, say you can only play 4 plussing level zeros because you have a lot of utility to play. I will always play 4 runners before I play 4 oversizes. And this is simply because, like, oversizes, you talk about like the ability to get a +1. Runner, whether it's mill or free runner, it doesn't matter. Mill, you have such a low chance to miss. It's not low, but like it's pretty in your favor to hit. Like, I'd put money on a runner running. Like, it's very favorable. So like when a runner moves, it's more favored to get a +1 than your opponent not being able to kill an oversize. So outs to runners is if it's a mill runner milling a non-character, or if there's any kind of runner, opponent playing like an anti-runner, then it just can't move. You lose that ability to get a +1, and then people are like, oh, that's why runners are bad. But keep in mind that not every single set has anti-runner. But moving forward, I don't know if this video will be accurate. Like, Love Live Sunshine just got like this amazingly crazy oversized anti-runner, which is like, holy balls. But yeah, no, if the set has an anti-runner and stuff, your set's create a little bit cool at level 0 because you can out, like, in my opinion, the best play on turn 1. But yeah, in contrast, an oversize gets outed extremely efficiently because it gets outed by any power pump or any bomb. And bomb is specifically for the level, for the oversizes that are level 0 still. Level 1 bomb, level 1 oversizes can't get outed by bombs, obviously. Oh, the oversizes also get outed by opponents' oversizes. So 3 things out an oversize. And these 3 things, like, every deck has them. Every deck has like I think every deck basically has some form of an oversize. It might be a bad one, like a on play, reveal top. If it's a climax, it goes to clock type of oversize. But every set basically has an oversize, basically has a power pumper at 0, and basically has a suicider. So these 3 things exist in every set, and I think every set that plays the game should be playing one of these 3 things, like at least in a couple copies of, or like several copies of, because you want to play one of these so that you can always out oversize if your opponent chooses to play them. Whereas a lot of decks just cannot efficiently out runner. The other way, there's one more way a runner can get outed, and it's if opponent tri-fields. And if opponent tri-fields, that's a huge investment to out a runner, right? They're going 3 resources in. Some decks can recover from that sort of card advantage deficit, but a lot of decks also can't. And so if your runner is able to force your opponent to extend the board state, and then you extend the board state, everyone has less cards to play with at level 1, and the game state is simplified. But the thing is, your opponent extended board state first, and you got, like, your opponent extended board state first, so you eat their characters, they eat yours, you start eating characters first. And if you're starting to eat characters first, you will always be a little bit ahead, right? Assuming your opponent doesn't hit 4 off a brainstorm or something and catch up. Or, like, and this is assuming the decks, like, cannot recover easily from a tri-field. Nowadays, a lot of decks can recover really easily. But yeah, so just comparing on, like, the raw ability to get a plus, runners are way more heavily favored to get a +1 than oversizes. And now people tell me, oh, oversizes are really good because they're statted aggressively, they're more aggressive as cards, and, you know, when you make a claim like that, you better be like, you better have a PhD in, like, literacy, like some sort of literary crap, like a PhD in, like, linguistics or some shit, because, like, I don't think you know what aggressive means. Like, the ability to have more power, like being a 4K versus like a 2-5 runner, that's not aggressive, and especially in this game, that's not aggressive. What I characterize as aggressive in ways is like dropping 3 characters and playing a climax. That's aggressive. Having a body that's bigger than opponents is not an aggressive play. It's just your character's more statted well. You get to eat that character, and that character starts eating your characters. There's no aggression to that. In fact, if the runner gets the plus and you're able to tri-field play climax, that's actually aggressive. Whereas just playing the 4K down, attacking, that's not aggressive. That's just it being a card. So I don't like, some people tell me that 4Ks are aggressive. Like, I just don't, that doesn't make sense to me. And there's no, like, aggressive line of play you can take with a 4K that a runner can't do better. But yeah, so oversizes are easier to out, just in general. So whoever gets the +1, who is more likely to get the +1? The answer is runner. And then into a more conceptual point, runners help lead into a lot of decks' level 1 games more effectively than oversizes do. And this has nothing to do with the current board state when you play down an oversize or a runner. This is all to do with, like, how the turns develop and how a runner helps shape that better than an oversize. And hopefully, I'm gonna do, like, a little demonstration skit. Like, so I'm gonna cut out. You guys are gonna see me and my hands in a different angle. All right. So this is the example with the runner. So this example in question will be using CG. So you draw for turn, obviously going first, because when this is most pertinent, you do the mulligan. Oh, okay, I'll dish the one, because I have some pretty good stuff in hand. So I draw one, I draw one more, a clock, I draw donk and donk. Damn, I have the runner in hand, so I can play the runner down, attack, trigger, and pass it on to my opponent. See if I can fit this all. So opponent goes, and he plays down these two attackers, both bigger than my runner, not necessarily even having to be bigger, but now you use the runner, you mill, you move here. Opponent does 2 and 2, so 2 damage and 2 damage. And now it's your turn again. So you draw for turn, you clock, draw 1, draw 2. So these are your 2 draws. And now you have access to the Ricky. So you just go Ricky, pay 1, take a damage, level, search out like a on reverse combo. And now you can go to town with double reverse combo. You can like move this to the back, or you leave this in the front. You move the runner to the back, and now you have 2 copies of your reverse combo to attack into his 2 characters. Woo! And you know, notice that runner was able to do that. Like even his character could even be smaller maybe, but you want to move away so that you can favorably hit level 1 and attack into these characters. And runner can do that because it can manipulate how much damage you want to take. You can basically choose to take 2 and 2, which would hit you off to level 1 if opponent does double aim. Alright, so similar scenario, but now instead of playing runners, you're playing these oversizes. This is just a typical oversize. It's a spicier oversize, but you know, I'm just exampling with one of the many oversizes that decks now have in their arsenal. So I draw, I'll clock, I'll draw 1, draw 2. So these are what I drew. And now you obviously play the oversize. This oversize does this, check top. We'll move it under, now it's a 3-5. And you attack. Same stuff. Also didn't ditch, but it's okay, just for the purpose of example. I didn't ditch, but yeah, attack for this. And now opponent goes and does the same thing. Has 2 attackers. I'm gonna try to fit everything in the camera. Has 2 attackers. Maybe they can even kill this card. Maybe they can't. But yeah, they just attack. So they go for, say they can kill it. So they go direct for 2, and they front for 1. I can't actually use that example because that doesn't exist in the deck anymore. Because it's a runner. But yeah, so you take 2 and 1. Now you're at 0-4, and it's your turn. This died, so now it's in the waiting room. You draw for turn. Draw Minami. Clock. Draw 2, and you have this Ricky in hand. Okay, I'm gonna Ricky, get another Minami. It'll be fantastic. Take a damage, search, but you don't hit level 1. So as you can see from the demonstration, when you play down an oversize, like you go first, you play down the oversize, your opponent attacks, 1-2 damage, obviously assuming no triggers because that's the more favorable outcome. You go to 0-4. And being at 0-4 sucks because your Ricky can't get you to level 1. Whoever extends their level 1 combo, whether it's on reverse or on attack combos or free combos, whoever extends their combos first is in the leading position because you're able to manipulate your deck first, you're able to do all these things first, you're able to hit these chain events of like resolutions of cancels and searches and everything more first before your opponent just kind of rides on you, like maybe canceling, you getting your cards before they do. And yeah, so it's so important. And if you play an oversize, your opponent actually hits level 1 first because now you play oversize, they go side direct 0-4, you clock 0-5, Ricky 0-6. You can't hit level 1 unless you have a clock bond, which Guardian does, by the way. Great deck. So you don't hit level 1. Your opponent hits level 1 first because you have to respond to their characters. They might hit level 1 unless you don't. Say they crash their character into your oversize. So say they crash their character into your oversize direct with their runner, and they run from your oversize. You swing for a direct 2, and now they can hit level 1, and now they have the pressure. They have the pressure now, and you just lost all the pressure because now your opponent can do their combo, do all their shenanigans at level 1, and you probably just lost. You're favored to lose the game at this point. Whereas if you can see in the example, the runner, if you go first, you play the runner, you clock, you go to 1 damage, you move, opponent does like 2 swings. It's like the norm to do 2 swings. They don't have to do 2 swings. If they don't do 2 swings, of course you're not hitting level 1 first. But if they do 2 swings, you hit perfectly 0.5, going to 0.6, going to level 1. Doing 2 swings is good. A lot of decks want to do 2 swings because your level 1 might be a caustic combo, you might have 1/1s to play, you might want to be double brainstorming, so getting 2 stocks is actually pretty good. So they kind of want to do 2 swings. But yeah, so a runner actually leads into that level 1 game faster than oversized can. Oversized actually doesn't lead you into level 1 game first, which actually sucks. Your opponent can actually play around how the oversized develops your 1 game. And so just the runner conceptually, in terms of like playing good ways, is a better card. Final point regarding all of this is that a runner has applications that oversized just doesn't have past level 0. So say your opponent's playing Nisekoi, they have Marika, and they're super good at the game, so they crash their character and have an open lane. So that you have to attack with the character, and then they can Marika reverse and restand. But you being the player who decides to play the runner, and you made the right choice in my eyes, you can just attack with the runner in the open lane, crash, and now your runner can move to 3 lanes. Their Marika can't reverse anymore. And that's just because the runner has continuous applications past level 0. Another thing is like a runner can deny reverse combos at level 1 if you play the level 0 game properly, because you can just crash, have runner moving around. They can't really do much reverse combos unless they do tri-field reverse combo, and they only get 1 search off that. So they just expended all their reverse combo resources to get 1 search. Or they just not reverse that turn, and now you can reverse first before them, and now you're in the lead because whoever does their level 1 combo first is in a lead in theory. Of course, like if you get screwed over by luck, feels bad, man. But yeah, so runner can do all these cool things, and especially like a mill runner. Say you have like 4 cards in deck, you attack 3 times, and it's clean, and then the last card is clean. A mill runner on opponent's turn, mill's the last card. Now you're refreshing. You don't have to take that 1 extra damage. So these type of cards, these runners have all these uses past level 0, and a 4K does nothing. It actually does nothing. A lot of 4Ks lose their condition to be 4K past the level 0 game because the conditions to be 4K are only meetable in the 0 game a lot of the time, and past 0 is just like a 4K body just isn't anything, and it doesn't do anything besides being a 4K body. So it's just super whatever, right? And yeah, that's like the 3 big points I want to make out why I think runner is significantly better. And I think that given the choice in the set to play a runner and an oversized, your set has both, you definitely should play a runner. Like, look at Gochusa. I play an off-trait runner because I don't want to play the oversized, because the off-trait runner leads me into my level 1 game better. It almost always guarantees me the plus. If it doesn't guarantee me the plus, I'll almost always be able to do reverse combos. And yeah, like even if it's off trade, it doesn't matter, because if I get to level 1 because of the runner and how it makes me take damage, my characters can be smaller even though it's off trade, but I can reverse your level 0s. You can't even counter anyways. So yeah, runner is just, so given the choice of the runner or the oversized, I always pick the runner for me, because like of all the reasons I mentioned. If your set only has a 4K is fine. It's not a bad card. It's just runners are better, and like I don't like it when I don't think it's rational to go around telling everyone that 4Ks are oversizes are broken, because runner is obviously a better card. And like, don't give me like, you're gonna watch this video, you're gonna see the damage part of it. Don't give me the opponent's gonna cancel type crap, because like we're just talking about like the scenario, like like a solid average scenario. Like if opponent cancels, things change, and I can't go over all the canceling scenarios. But if you just take damage, runners will always help lead you to level 1 before a 4K does. A 4K doesn't actually. It helps your opponent to level 1 first because of the body. And yeah, just to summarize the 3 points before I close off the video. So runners are more favored to get the +1 at level 0, going first. Runners can lead you favorably into level 1 to do your reverse combo first, or your on attack combo, just any combo in general. And runners have continuous applications past level 0 that 4Ks do not. So one last point I want to mention, because I like to be like kind of like seeing both sides of it, and not just be always so critical of one side and just think positively about the other side. 4Ks, one application that they do have that's better than a runner is, so if opponent goes first, they have a character. Runners a lot of the time aren't strong enough to actually kill other 4K bodies, and so you just give your opponent a +1 more favorably because you play runners and you don't have an out to their 4K. But I mean, that's why you want to play either a bomb, your own oversized, or a pumper, power pumper. And like I think good Weiss and good decks should play one of the three, right? Because you want to be able to out your opponent's 4K if they decide to play it or their set only has it. But yeah, a 4K does eat things, and runners often can't eat things. But that's why you have to play cards to complement the runner, so that runners can move freely while the complement card eats the opponent's body. Not their physical body, but their body on board. So yeah, I can see the 4K being able to eat things more effectively, but you should be playing cards that mitigate the fact that runners are small usually. And yeah, that's it for the video. If you guys like this type of discussion video, I know the angle's weird. Hopefully I'll get a better angle next time. Definitely leave a comment, drop me a like, remember to subscribe. Check out strictlybrokentcg.com for singles, dank stuff. Singles on JP, English, Weiss. We're still updating the site. Keep yourself posted because it's always updating. And yeah, it's your boy Strictly Broken signing off. Peace. See you guys next time. Ocean man, da 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 da. Let you understand. Ocean man.